Welcome everyone. Today we will dive into the golden beauty of one of the most celebrated nature poems in English literature, Ode to Autumn by John Keats. With its vivid imagery, calm rhythm, and soothing tone, this ode captures the ripeness of nature and peaceful transition from life to rest. In this session, we will explore the poem stanza by stanza. So, all poetry lovers, let's experience it through the eyes of a romantic poet. Ode to Autumn is one of the John Keats' most famous odes, composed in 1819. It celebrates the beauty, richness, and quietness of the autumn season. Unlike Keats's other odes that are often emotional or philosophical, this one is peaceful and sensuous, filled with vivid imagery of nature, harvest, and time. Let's start. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and blaze with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the most cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel to set budding more, and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has overbrimmed their clammy cells. Autumn is called the season of mist and mellow fruitfulness, showing its soft, gentle atmosphere and abundance. It is a close friend of the sun, and they together help nature grow and ripen fruits. The poem describes how vines are filled with fruits, apple trees bend with their weight, gourds swell, and hazelnuts become plump. Flowers keep blooming so that bees think summer is still going on. Nature is at its fullest and ripest stage. This stanza celebrates growth, fulfillment, and abundance. Keats gives us a visual feast of the countryside in autumn. He personifies autumn as an active force working with the sun. Autumn is described as conspiring and as a close friend. Mists and mellow, fill all fruit are the examples of alliteration by repeating the M and F sound. Close bosom friend of the maturing sun. Here, autumn is metaphorically described as a close friend who is intimately connected with the sun. It is a metaphor. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-ripped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy spares the next swath and all its twinned flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cedar press, with patient look, thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. The poet asks, who has not seen autumn during harvest time? Autumn is imagined as a human figure, sometimes resting in the granary or asleep in the fields. Sometimes she is like a gleaner, a person who collects leftover crepes, or she is watching cedar being made. The images show autumn as slow, patient, and calm, enjoying the process of completion. This stanza presents autumn in personified form, engaged in different activities. It captures the quiet labor and richness of the countryside. The place is slower, emphasizing rest, calmness, and fulfillment. Autumn as a woman doing human tasks. It's a personification. Like a gleaner comparing autumn to a woman gathering harvest. It's a simile. Hook, furrow, and cedar press symbolize harvest and finality. Where are the songs of spring? Where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while bird clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then in a wilful choir the small notes moan among the river shallows borne aloft, or sinking as the light wind leaves or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now with treble soft the red-breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. The poet asks where spring songs have gone, but quickly adds that autumn has its own music. As the sunset turns the sky pink, there are many sounds: knots humming, lambs bleating, crickets singing, robins whistling, and swallows flying. The stanza shows the music of nature in autumn evening, soft, mellow, and fading. The opening lines of this stanza evoke a sense of nostalgia and loss. Spring, traditionally associated with youth, renewal, and joyous song, is gone. However, rather than lamenting this loss, the speaker reassures, think not of them, thou hast thy music too, suggesting that autumn has its own unique and beautiful music and life. Bird clouds bloom the soft dying day. Clouds are described as blooming, a metaphor that links clouds to flowers, showing nature's artistry even in the decline of the day. The soft dying day evokes a gentle sunset, blending light and shadow. Touch the stubble plains with a rosy hue. The stubble plains or harvested fields are bathed in a warm, reddish light, symbolizing the glow of autumn's end. Then, in a wailful choir, the small notes mourned. The small notes mourned in a wailful choir, giving these teeny insects a human like sorrowful voice. It's a personification. Or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. Here, the wind itself is personified as living and dying. In this stanza, Keats skillfully balances acceptance and appreciation of change. While spring's joyous songs have ended, autumn offers its own unique and gentle music and beauty. The poem invites us to notice the subtle, often overlooked sounds and sights of the natural world as it quietly prepares for rest. It conveys a philosophical acceptance of life cycles, growth, maturity, decline, and renewal, celebrating each season's distinct gifts rather than lamenting their passing. So, John Keats' Ode to Autumn is a rich, sensuous celebration of the autumn season, portraying it as a time of ripeness, fulfillment, and calm beauty. The poem captures autumn's visual splendor, its quiet labor, and its subtle music in nature. In the first stanza, Keats presents autumn as the close friend of the sun, helping to ripen fruits, soil gourds, and bloom late flowers, filling the world with mellow abundance. The second stanza personifies autumn as a female harvester, seen resting, gleaning, or watching patiently as fruits are pressed into juice, highlighting the season's labor and contentment. The third stanza shifts focus to the sounds of autumn, where knots, lambs, crickets, and birds create a gentle, melancholic music that marks the season's quiet ending. Though autumn hints at the coming of winter and death, Keats does not resist it. Instead, he accepts it as a natural and beautiful phase of life, full of richness and harmony. Through vivid imagery, personification, and musical language, the poem transforms autumn into a universal symbol of maturity, transition, and poetic stillness.